So, all right, moving on. So you ended up going to UCLA after that. Yeah. And
Yep.
what was next for you there? How was that experience?
UCLA was amazing. It was really my first time kind of out of a small town. I was in Sacramento from 9 to 18, and this is a small, slower moving town to throwing into Westwood, which is Hollywood. Hollywood borders our school. So I went from they call Sacramento a cow town to basically Hollywood.
Mhm.
But it was amazing. Just the opportunity to go to UCLA with all the tradition and the history. And actually, my first year at UCLA was 1998, and there was an NBA lockout. So there was no other basketball being played besides our basketball. So we used to have like Shaq and Kobe and all the LA stars that, movie stars that you would see at a Laker game. They started coming to our game, and I'm like, oh shit, this is what college is like. This is what UCLA is like. So it was an eye-opening experience. It was an amazing experience. And again, 4 years at UCLA was some of the best times of my life. Have friends still to this day from there that I talk to daily. Opened up a lot of doors, and it provided me an opportunity to have a chance to play in the NBA.
Right. So you started, let's see, with the Clippers. Was that your first team?
So I bounced around early on. Second round pick who got cut. Um, Started in the G League. Played well there. Got an opportunity to play for the Clippers, and then kind of got on this carousel where played well enough to stick. But then, my first 4 years, I wasn't given very many opportunities to actually show what I can do. And there's so many guys in the NBA. The average career is 3.5 years, 3.5 years. So I'm coming up on year 4 and not really getting an opportunity to play, and just hoping for that opportunity. But at the same time, my brother is an up and coming football star. Football is my first sport. I was the number one football receiver in the country my senior year.
Mhm.
So I kind of started thinking, all right, well, if this basketball thing doesn't work out, maybe football does. So this summer, going into my 4th season, I'm doing basketball training in the morning and football training in the evening, because not really knowing what was going to happen, what opportunities would present themselves. My agent at the time had found about 6 or 7 NFL teams were willing to give me an open tryout. So I told them that I wanted to give basketball one last shot, which I had a training camp opportunity coming up. And I said, if this training camp opportunity doesn't work, let's try to jump to football. Thankfully, that opportunity was with the Golden State Warriors in 2006. And it's a 15-man roster. They had 17 guarantees already and 20 guys coming to camp. So literally, I was the 21st guy coming to camp. And, the coach, let me back up a little bit. So I got called. I was living in Sacramento at the time in the off season, and a former UCLA teammate of mine, Baron Davis, said, hey, we're having an open gym if you want to come by. So the Bay Area is about an hour and some change from Sacramento. I drove down there, played really well, not knowing the head coach was watching the whole time. So after we get done playing, head coach comes down, puts his arm around me like, hey, son, how you doing? Like the way you played today. What are you doing this season? I was just like, to be honest with you, I don't know. Camp is around the corner. I don't really have any offers. Um, he's like, well, hey, I can't promise you a roster spot, but I promise you, if you come and compete like you did today, I'll give you an opportunity. So again, there's 15 roster spots. They already have 17 guaranteed contracts. So they already have to cut 2 guys, and they had 3 more guys in camp. So I came in camp, played really well, and found my way to a guaranteed roster spot. So that was in the 2006 season. And although I came in the NBA in 2002, 2006 was when I really felt like I got my first opportunity to show that I can play this league. And, when that opportunity was given, I didn't give it back and ran with it. And from there is really I felt like, year 4, year 5 was where I felt like, okay, I'm in here now, and now I can make some noise. So, after that season, played well and was able to just maintain contracts for the next, I guess, 10 years after that.
So then you went from there to the Suns, then to the Magic, then you were with the Lakers. How was that?
The opportunity to play with the franchise, some people look at it like, hey, for instance, Kobe was able to play 20 years with the Lakers, and that's everybody's goal. But at the same time, I realized early that wasn't going to be my path in this league, and I was okay with that. So I just took every opportunity as a opportunity, understanding not only is it a basketball opportunity, but at the same time, I'm going to these teams and I'm always playing, I'm always starting, or I'm always the first guy coming off the bench. So it's also business opportunities to start meeting the people who are sitting in the front rows at these games, because those are normally CEOs, business owners, all kinds of different opportunities. So I started thinking then, let me just meet these guys. Let me shake their hand, because I was, like your ex-husband thought, I was labeled the bad guy, and I
Mhm.
was okay with that. But at the same time, I think when I'm able to show people who I really am, they're pleasantly surprised, like, oh shit, like you're not a thug, you're not this, you're not that. I'm just like, no, I'm just, I came from a rough upbringing, but I have a degree, educated, and I'm just a competitor. And
Mhm.
so I was just always kind of surprising people when I would meet them, and well, here, give me, take my number down, and come to the office. So let's go to lunch. And it was just people really started kind of taking a liking to me, and again, use those opportunities from playing for different teams to meet different types of people in different types of fields, and just kind of carried on through that through my career. Obviously, being a Laker was a dream come true. I was a huge Laker fan growing up, and there's an infamous moment kind of in basketball aura, and it was just the 13-year anniversary the other day. I think it was March 7th, 2010, where I got into it with Kobe, and I faked the ball in his face, and it
Mhm.
went viral, and it's still viral 13 years later. At the end of that season, so the Lakers go on to the finals. We play the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Finals. I'm in Orlando at that time, and we end up losing. So the offseason, the Lakers beat the Celtics in the finals. So that offseason, I'm a free agent. And I thought I was going to stay in Orlando, but then they weren't really offering what I thought I was worth. So I started talking to the Miami Heat. And out of nowhere, I get a call from a number that I don't recognize. And if you know me, I rarely answer my phone, even if I see the name on the phone. I'm just not a phone person. I happen to answer this call, and it's Kobe. And at first, I'm like, yeah, right. Who the fuck is this? He's like, nah, it's really me. So he and I, kind of start talking back and going back and forth. And, I was congratulating him on winning the championship. And he asked me what I was doing next year, and I kind of told him, like, hey, I'm talking to the Heat and the Magic right now, and he's like, what do you think about being a Laker? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do I think? I mean, Lakers are my favorite team. It'd be an honor. He's just like, and he literally told me, he's like, anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough to play with me. I want you to be a Laker. And I was like, shit, I want to be a Laker. And literally 4 days later, I was a Laker.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great story. So, all right. So after the Lakers, you went on to play again for the Clippers.